Hi everyone, I'm glad for you to see me at Wwe. I'm here with another Raw review for 6/15/2020. It starts with the night with Randy Orton doing a promo, and he claims to be the greatest wrestler because of the win he had over Edge of the greatest wrestling match ever thing for Backlash last night. Christian uh, comes out and defends Edge, which Randy Orton ends up challenging Christian to a non-sanctioned match later on the match. Not I mean later on the evening. Uh, then we have you know Selena Vega and her boy doing a backstage interview. Then we have Angel Garza with Selena Vega versus Kevin Owens. You know, you know, it starts off fast and Andrade comes out within seconds. You know, they end up having words on the outside. Selena Vega ends up saying, "I had enough of this," and goes backstage. And the fight, the match continues, and Kevin Owens ends up winning. Then we have a uh, backstage, uh, backstage segment with MVP and Lashley talking about their tag team match later on the night. Then they go to break. The Then when we come back, we have MVP and Lashley in the ring, uh, which Lana comes out and tries to explain herself and how things were good before MVP came, and it's Lashley's fault for banning her from ringside. Lashley ends up telling her, "I want a divorce," before Lashley and MVP leave the ring. You know, then we have the Viking Raiders and Street Profits backstage segment where like the ninjas appear, which can we be done with this freaking uh, storyline? It is so stupid. That then we have the 8-man tag match, Street Profits and the Viking Raiders versus the Ninjas. Of course, the Street Profits and Viking Raiders won it. You know, who did see that coming? The giant ninja ends up getting in the ring, and Big Show's music hits, and he he comes down to the ring. Clears all the little ninjas, and during that time, the giant ninja retreats. You know, then we then we have Seth Rollins talking about Dominic's tweet, which I know that it's gonna end up with a feud between Rollins and Dominic. You know, I already see that coming. Uh, then we have Christian on backstage on his phone, probably talking to Edge or his wife. Then Seth comes down to the ring uh, and starts talking, and Ray shows up on the big screen via satellite and saying, "Hey, can we? Hey, it's between us. Leave Dominic out." But Seth actually gets on his knees at one point. Dominic comes up from behind, attacks him. You know, Seth's goons come out again, and he's too quick and gets away from them. Uh, then we have the R-Truth and Lashley, backstage segment, which I'm a R-Truth fan, but you know, I don't know what that was about. Then we have the women's tag team match, Morgan and Natty versus the Iconics. It was a pretty short match, but exciting from start to finish. The Iconics end up winning. Then they end up calling down Sasha and Bailey for a match, which they don't end up coming down. You know, then we have a, you know, then we go to break and come back, have Natty and Lana talking backstage, followed by an interview where Christian accepts the match with Orton. Ric Flair's back. Then we have Ric Flair talking with Charlotte Flair backstage. You know, you know, MVP and tries to recruit Apollo Crews, at which he says no. Then we have the Apollo Crews versus Shelton Benjamin match. You know, very hard hitting, kept me interested bell to bell. You know, Apollo Crews ends up winning that match. You know, then we have a backstage segment of R-Truth and the Ninjas. You know, where he thinks he's scaring him off, and you see Drew McIntyre behind him. R-Truth and Drew McIntyre talk again backstage. You know, I love how R-Truth is playing its character. Yeah, he's actually made me a fan of his. I love this crazy out in left field personality he's doing. Then we have the Street Profits and Viking Raiders talk with the Big Show. Yeah, you know, talk with the Big Show, and they end up, Big Show ends up making a match for next week for the tag straps between the Street Profits and Viking Raiders. Please, after that match, let this whole thing be done. I am so tired of the storyline. It's time for a new storyline, WWE. Then we have the tag team match of Lashley and MVP versus True and R-Truth, which in the beginning it was winner takes all championships, which R-Truth got it down to just the heavyweight championship. You know, it was a pretty good damn match. I suggest watching it. You know, of course, Drew wins the match. You're not gonna have the title change hands on Raw after a pay-per-view. Not they've done it, but not the right time. Ric Flair then again tried to convince Christian not to do the match. Then you have Sasha and Bayley in the ring doing their segment. Iconics come out, and Bayley finally accepts the championship. Blah, blah, blah. Then we have Nia versus Asuka. Good match. Asuka ends up winning. Then we have the final match, which is a non-sanctioned match, which if you couldn't guess, it wasn't that long of a match. Ric Flair tries to come down, tries to get to convince him not to. Christian goes ahead and shoots, a bell rings, Ric Flair hits him with the low blow, Randy Orton wins. And until next time, let's spread some peace and love. Until next time, love you.